Hello everyone, ColeManX here. Today, we're discussing a very important question that has plagued the Mega Man fandom for years now. Do Reploids have actual feet? Do they have toes? Well, today, we're going to look at the evidence and come to a real conclusion. I'm serious. So, equip your toe attacker, and let's get after it. Let's get our feet wet with some background. Way back in the classic series, there were numerous examples of robot masters having human-like bodies under their armor. While mostly existing in promotional art and side material, we are clearly shown that the Children of Light are designed to resemble humans more than machines. While it is true that certain art and interpretations of rock and roll show them with Mega Man legs, there is an equal amount of art showing humanoid legs. We could take this as potential evidence that the Light siblings were originally built with more robotic features, but as technology advanced, they got closer and closer to looking completely human. By at least Mega Man 8, this is definitely the case, as they're practically indistinguishable from humans by then. Now that we have that covered, let's get back to the main question. Do Reploids have humanoid feet? I first saw this question seriously posed with the release of the Mega Man X Legacy Collection. In that collection, when you complete the X Challenge mode in normal difficulty, you're rewarded with this image of our favorite navigators in beachwear. However, eagle-eyed players quickly noticed that parts of the anatomy were off. While their big, bouncy personalities were on display for all to see, their toes were noticeably absent. The biggest offender here is Alia. While both a layer and palette can maybe be interpreted as normal pointed shoes, Alia is just flat. And by the way, you girls should change out of those. Those shoes aren't safe for the beach. You're gonna break an ankle. Anyway, this design philosophy is carried through to Rockman X Dive, as none of the Reploid characters in swimsuits have this specific asset. However, this isn't just an overall art style decision. Roll, who is not a Reploid, still has them. If we skip forward in time to 22XX and beyond, we see that as technology advances further, the lines between man and machine become more and more blurred. All of a sudden, toes are back in style. Even though Ash here is technically a human, this is still a world where Reploids and humans can only be told apart by one forehead marking. If she already has the same skin and ears as a Reploid, it's safe to assume that she would look identical to this if she had been born a Reploid in the first place. Further ahead than that, in the world of carbons, we can see that Roll Casket looks completely human. But enough dragging our feet. Reploids were based on X, and X was the final creation of Dr. Light. You'd think that Light would make his final son as human-looking as his other children, right? While, outside of Brazil, we've never seen X without his armor, wouldn't it be safe to assume that, if he so chose, X could power down into a completely relaxed state? We've seen in Dive that Zero, and others, can change outfits, so why not? Say what you will about Dive, but that isn't even the first place we've seen our heroes change clothes. Even as far back as X4, when X entered a stage, he was in his base form before equipping the armor parts. But Dive is where we see the most concrete evidence that Reploid toes exist. New Year Iris and New Year Cinnamon clearly have normal feet, toes and all. It's a bit hard to argue against these. And what about a Reploid like Burkana? While she normally hides most of her body under her dress, this is probably because she's, well, hiding something. And you know what she's hiding under there?
The truth.
And while not part of the core series, Marty, from the Iwamoto ColeManX manga, changes her look every time she shows up, so you know she's had her Little Mermaid moment at least once. Also, we can't forget to mention the toe attacker. For those of you who aren't in the know, let me quickly cover what a toe attacker is. In early concept art for Zero, we can see that he was meant to have several special weapons. The Vulcan cannon on his head, the wire arm, the charge shooter, and the toe attacker. From this, the term toe attacker was recoined by the hit internet series Ramblin' Reploids to describe any time a Reploid has a section foot design, like Zero has. Now, why would they call this a toe attacker if there wasn't anything backing it up? All these Reploids have toe attackers of some sort, so there has to be something behind the name, right? So even though toes exist before and after 21XX, there isn't a completely concrete answer for Reploids, especially if you don't factor in side material. If Reploids can have talons, hooves, and mermaid tails, then why wouldn't the humanoids be able to have toes if they wanted? Since Reploids are machines, they can probably look whatever way they feel like, whenever they want. We've seen these characters change designs and outfits so many times in both the main games and in side material. To a Reploid, changing to bare feet would be the same as wearing a different pair of shoes. So, that's that. I hope this topic kept you on your toes. This has been ColeManX, and I'm so sorry. Thank you for watching.